to the 47th episode of the Yarn Junkie podcast. My name is Amber, and it looks like Lucy's going to come over and join me as per usual. This is my Mastiff, Lucy. And we are joining you from Texas, where we live with my husband, our 2 daughters, our 2 other dogs other than Lucy here, and we have chickens and a snake as well. So welcome if this is your first time. Thanks so much for joining me, and if you're a returning viewer, thanks so much for subscribing, because like everyone says, there's 90 million podcasts out there, and if you're tuning in to mine week after week, I love you, and from the bottom of my heart, thanks, because why? This is such a weird thing to talk about, because when someone says something about it at night, like, oh, you have a podcast? I don't know what to say about it. Like, yeah, I sit in a room by myself every week, most of the time, and talk to a camera. Isn't that strange? Isn't that kind of strange? Anyway, here we are. I am a knitter, crocheter, all-around yarn junkie, mostly knitting podcast, and I have a lot to get through. I've actually tried to record this episode a couple of other times and just had technical difficulties because machines hate me. And yeah, so stuff is piled around me. My dog is laying on my feet right now, or actually my foot. I still have one foot to move the show notes from under her face. So administrative-wise, there we go, the correct word. We've got a giveaway going on. I'm looking around the package. This is a lovely project bag donated by Ryan of Stitchin' You Bags. And she also gave my viewers a coupon code, which I utilize, and I will show you that later in WIPs, for project bags. I can't remember if it was, let me see right quick. I'm just going to run through this really quickly. So this is a giveaway that I've got a thread in my Ravelry group. I ask for you to list your top 5 favorite movies. I have no idea why that was my prompt. The top 5 favorite movies that I listed aren't necessarily mine always top 5. Those were just the top 5 that I could think of at the moment. So there you go with that. But I put in a pom-pom maker set that was donated by my sweet friend Celia, because I already had one when she sent me that in a swap. I put in a lot of teas. Here's Ryan's card from the bags. And I was thinking it was Junkie 10 is the discount code. Check last episode's show notes. There's this needle cozy from Barbara, Knitting I Love. Again, the giveaway thread has all of this listed along with the shop owners. I put in a skein of yarn, Cat's Kettle yarn, a mini from some socks that I knit, and from Knitty by Nature, a stitch marker set and a row counter, and it all sort of coordinates and matches each other. So I hope that you love it, and it's just my way of saying thanks so much to this community. Seriously, I mean, I have 1,400 subscribers or 1,300, somewhere around there. Over 1,000, that blows my mind. I am happy if 5 people watch. I know a lot of us say that. I have nature on me. I know a lot of us say that, but seriously, I'm not I don't sell yarn or bags or anything like that. So you guys are watching to see what I'm making myself and my family, and thanks. So enter the giveaway, and maybe you'll have a chance to win. I will draw for that the episode closest to Halloween. And I sent a message to the person who won the arabesque sock pattern, but I forgot to write it down, so I'm the worsted, so sorry. I am the world's worst podcaster. But there is that giveaway for you guys to be entered into. Let me slide that way out of the way. And should have put it back in the sack, but that'll be okay. I'll do it in a second when I clean all this up. Because if you're a podcaster, you know what I have around me. Lucy's gone now, so I'm going to move my stuff closer to me so I'm not reaching. Also, we have a cow going on that I completely fail at because I don't even have it here with me. I'm gonna go grab it so I can talk about it so I don't forget. I'll be right back. Okay, so Stephanie of the Milkshed blog and I have been co-hosting a Cal for the Doodler, and which was Stephen West's Mystery Knit Along last year. And I finally cast mine on using, I've talked about my yarns a lot, but I'll go ahead and since I finally cast on, mention them one more time. Jinx yarn in the colorway Lantern Festival in her Glitz sock base. And then Lola Did It yarn, which this is my first time using Lola Did It, in her Folsom colorway. And I think this is her Everyday Sock, or whatever it's called. Yes, Everyday Sock. Nailed it. So, just a really nice tonal gray. And I really like it, except for the fact that I did not read the pattern very well when I got started. I was just really eager to finally start it. And I thought it said size 6 needles and it said size 4s. And while I have discovered recently that I'm a fairly tight knitter, I know that I've said that I'm a loose knitter in the past, but in the next project I'll show you, we'll talk about that more. This is super airy, in my opinion, and I don't know that I love it. I love the contrast of the kind of steel gray against the orangey, fiery reds. I love my sushi stitch markers from Bead Passion on Etsy. A little wasabi, look at that, so cute. And I'm loving this knit overall. I am breaking my yarns because I've talked about how hard of a time I have carrying them and then blocking out properly, especially with a shawl that I really want to like. I think that I am going to leave my needles bigger just so I have a huge shawl. Everyone talked about how big their exploration station was. And mine, it's big, but it's not like as big as other people's looks. And I mean, I'm a tall person, but I'm not like very wide around, so I just expected it to be wider. So maybe I'll leave this as a size 6. I'm using Hiya Sharps. And I started with a 40-inch cord because I hate changing needles in the middle of a project, but I also am very annoyed by the long cord and not a lot of progress. But that's all I have to say about that so far. I took out another project I had in this bag and put in my Lone Larch project bag. I love this one for this project in particular. And it's kind of Halloween-esque to me, just fall, I don't know. And I'm zipping yarn into a zipper. Be more careful about that. But yeah, so my Cal for my local knit group, this is also part of Acquisitions, the bag is. I got this from Stitchin' You, or Stitchin' You Bags. Stitchin' You Bags, which is on Etsy, and this is Ryan who gave us the discount code, which is I think capital JUNKIE 10, might be 15, I think it's 10. Like I said, it's in that episode of last show notes. And I had to have this bag. I've been wanting a canning bag for a while. I love to garden, I love to can. I did not have a garden this year because I thought we would be moving sooner than we did. If you don't know, we've been remodeling a house for too long. And so I didn't have a garden this year. I haven't done a lot of canning lately, but it is something that I am passionate about. And I love this bag. And I didn't know when I ordered it that the jar lids are metallic. So it's one of those metallic fabrics. And I've seen a lot of canning. I'm going to go on and on about this bag because I love it so much. I've seen a lot of canning fabrics on Etsy, and different sellers have had different fabrics, but they're all they were, in my opinion, all very grandmotherly looking, you know, like what your grandmother would have in her stash of fabrics, which is great for some people, but I'm definitely a more saturated colors person, if you didn't know that from watching. I love bold, bright, very saturated colors. And the fact that it's black and, you know, it hides dog hair fairly well doesn't hurt either. But in this bag, I am housing my All About That Failure, All About That Brioche shawl. Look at the inside of this bag. It's carrots. Ryan, you nailed it with this bag. I really, really love it. Oh, I have to talk about this too. So, yeah, again, Ryan, stitching you bags. And my shawl, All About That Brioche, by Lisa Haynes, is going, I'm doing this currently as a knit along with my local knit group. And I have started and restarted the brioche section, I kid you not, like 6 times. I've just like ripped out my needles and ripped it out and restarted it a lot, and it's driving me crazy. And part of the problem is we've been so busy lately. I'll talk more about that at the end, so if you don't care to catch up with what I've been up to during the week, you don't have to. But we've been really busy, and I've been trying to cram this in and make progress on it. I'm like, I've got to make progress. And I shouldn't do that, because every single time I sit down and force myself to work on something, I almost always make an error. And I don't know how or why or what happened, but I ended up, if you can see the top, twisting one of the stitches. So I was doing really well for about 2 rows, so technically 4, because it's the same on both sides that you have to do. I was doing really well for about 2 rows, and then so this is literally the 7th time I will be ripping this out. Roger wants in and restarting. I've talked about my yarns before. Malabrigo sock, I've lettuce and April, I think, are the colorways. I really love this. I've made a shawl in this yarn before, and it's very durable and very light. I was gonna say I can't stretch this out very well, but I was going to talk about what a tight knitter I am. So we're all doing this as part of a cowl for my local knit group. So there's about 7 examples of this particular shawl. I guess I can rip the needles out right now because I'm going to do it anyway. So that way I can kind of stretch it out and show you guys. But so there's seven or so examples of this shawl, and everyone's is this very wide, beautiful, wrap yourself up shawl. And mine's this like little sliver of like, it's just gonna be a little tiny shawl because my stitches are so tight. They're so tight, guys. We're all using sock weight yarn. We're all using size 4 needles, and yeah, next time I'll size up, I guess. I really like this shawl. I love the edging, as I've said before. I'm really enjoying both. I've not knit a shawl with this construction, so everything about it I'm enjoying, even the botched brioche, but I will get through it. I mean, that is nearly perfect brioche. On the ends, it's a little wonky, and there's one place right there that shows up really well on camera that I dropped a stitch and picked it up the wrong way, so it's just a twisted stitch. So it wasn't a big deal to me, but now that I can see it, it's kind of annoying me. I will fix this. I love it. I love the colors. I love the project bag that I put it in. I love that my knit group's knitting it, because I'm really eager to get that finished versus, you know, my online knit alongs. It's easier not to focus on those because, you know, out of sight, out of mind. But if I'm going to knit groups, then that I have to work on it. I will go ahead and talk about this, even though this is kind of chatter. I work as a beverage cart driver at a country club out here for their golf course, and I take my knitting along because there's times where I have to pull my cart over to wait on golfers to tee off or to putt or whatever. So I'll pull over and I'll have, you know, several minutes to sit and knit, which could be a row on a shawl, could be a couple rounds on a sock, whatever it may be. I have time. And my boss doesn't mind, whatever. We've talked about it. I worked a really big event a couple of weeks ago, and at the end of it, I had to kind of sit around and mingle and have people pull beverages out of my cart. And in that time, I had several people talk about my knitting, and this one guy was selling me, so he wanted me to sell the shawls. He thought it was quite odd to look over and see the cart girl knitting, and he was like, how old are you? I'm old enough to knit and to love it, and people of all ages can enjoy knitting. But they ended up selling my shawls to several people. This guy, maybe I shouldn't show his card. A guy actually gave me his business card and told me to seriously email him and he would buy a shawl off me. Now, I probably won't do that, but the fact that that happened was just really funny to me and I had to share with you guys. So, talked about my doodler. I'm going to flip pages right quick. And I talked about my brioche and how awful it's going, which just breaks my little heart. Another thing that's breaking my heart right now, I'm going to take a sip of my delicious coffee. So it's the afternoon. I think it's like October, I have my phone right here, 17th, Monday, if you wanted to know. It's really, really, really extremely warm here today, 80 degrees. Love Texas fall. Love that it clings like life to summer. It doesn't let it go. And I will move along to my next whip. That's not a whip. It's going into hibernation because I'm so angry at this right now. But I have to show you guys so you don't wonder what happened to it. I am still going to finish it. It's just, I don't want to right now. I don't. There's other things I want to work on, and this is not bringing me joy, so it's going into hibernation. And that is my Whispering Pine shawl. So I did make quite a bit of progress on this since I showed it last. I did several beautiful sections of the lace, and I was beading way too much, I think. Let me see if I can spread it out a little bit. I really don't like how overall this part of the shawl looks like snowfall, where it's kind of random. Not really random, but it is. See where the beads fall? And then in here, it's going down in straight rows, which I thought it would kind of make it look like the Whispering Pines, the trees look like they're iced. But in reality, it's too uniform. And I think it would be better if I did like every other row, still in a row, or maybe one row there and then the next row, you know, skip one row and then the next row there and then, see what I mean? Kind of zigzag it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that looks okay? It doesn't matter because I do have to rip it back a little or tink back. The last two rows, the last row of lace, the last row of purling I did showed me that the last row of lace that I did was wrong in several places. Because again, I was forcing myself to work on it when I should have been working on things that were bringing me joy instead of me just trying to get through, power through. That does not work for me. I really am envious of people that it works for, that can just power through and get through a project, but me, that's not the way I work. So it's going away. It's going away for a while. Maybe closer to Christmas. If you don't know, I might lost my mom right around Christmas, so maybe closer to then I'll pick it up again and it will bring me therapy. Maybe closer to her birthday, which is in January. I don't know. It's just going to go into hibernation, so. Socks, I've been working on some socks, like you know, because they bring me joy, and I zoomed along on this one, really. I started it when we were camping a couple of weeks ago. Not this past weekend, because today's Monday, so not this weekend we just had, but the weekend last, we went camping. If you follow me on Instagram, which I never talk about at the beginning, _yarn junkie, you will have seen that. We went camping. I actually had people unfollow me after, and I get that I totally spammed, but I don't know. I guess they don't like camping. Oh well, bye-bye. Bye, Felicia. So I've been working on this sock. I cast it on at camp, knit pretty much the whole thing up to here while we were camping. And then the rest, when we got back, I think I took it to work and did the rest of that day I was at work. This is Nomadic Yarns, colorway Kiss the Girl, and I'm making Prudence some ankle socks to wear on the days that she misses me, and I hope to have enough maybe to do with contrast toes and heels for me a pair of socks to match hers. That way she knows that I miss her as much as she misses me. Because my 5, almost 6-year-old is having a hard time at school this year. I think most of it is like they don't do naps anymore, and it's just a really long day. She's only 5. She's a baby. Like, I know she's not, but she's just so small, y'all. She's just so small. And she's not, like, she's huge, obviously. Look at this foot. I have to show you, I'm going to skip up a little bit. Acquisitions. A couple of weeks ago when I was at work, I wanted to take this sock and see where I needed to do the fish lips conceal. So I went ahead and asked Etrella to cut out cardboard feet for Etrella and Prudence. And she did that, and then I was complaining because it was really rough to slide into the sock. And then my husband grabbed some tape out of the craft station and helped me out and taped it up and made it so it wasn't so rough. And I love the tape that he used. The girls always want like duct tape and like little cutesy washi tape, I guess it's called, like this when we go to the craft store, and I usually oblige and get them a couple of rolls each. And they use it though, so it's all good. I get wanting new craft stuff. So there we go, perfect little foot for Prudence. And can we talk about like how huge my 5-year-old's foot is compared to my 10-year-old's? They both have big feet in general. I have big feet. I wear size 10. I've always had big feet, but yeah. So that's all I have to say about that. My cart cube, again, I love taking this little project bag to work. My cart cube. And I love Nomadic Yarns. I think I talked about how much I like her sparkle base and how eager I am to cast on more of my stash Nomadic. What else? I'm looking down for a moment. Wool piggery. Wow. I feel like we're making a good time. I'm going to stop it right here and shut the door that Roger opened and see if Lucy wants out. I'll be right back. Okay, so last year I really had no idea what a mystery knit-along was. Had no desire to participate in a mystery knit-along. Even up until recently, I was like, mystery knit-alongs aren't for me. I like to know what I'm getting myself into. But then, the draw of it, you guys, is just overwhelming. I am definitely, I wouldn't say I'm a follower, but I don't like to be left out of things. Do you hear Lucy right now? She's growling at the neighbors. And while we were camping this weekend, again, quick side note, so sorry, she would not stop barking and growling. I will put a little clip in of her growling, but all night long, go lay down, go lay down. She kept me awake the first night of camp because she would bark every single time someone walked by. It was our first time camping in a state park, and she was just not used to the people. I literally, every single time I would shut my eyes and fall asleep, she would bark and wake me up. So every 15, 20 minutes, I was telling her to shut up and be quiet and lay down and go to sleep. The next night, luckily, my husband has a fold-down bed on his truck, so we essentially created them. And I kind of felt bad doing that to her because she was like hunched under the opening, but I got sleep and she slept, so she was only in there a little while and it was totally fine. But I will add that clip so you can hear her growling, and it's kind of scary. It's really a dark clip, but you can listen. Go lay down, go. So back to the I can't feel left out of things. I had to join in on Stephen West's Mystery Knit Along this year. The biggest reason why someone at my knit group was talking about it, and she was like looking out yarns, so she kind of instigated me, if you will, I was like flying around the yarn shop, pulling out different yarns, comparing them, posting pictures to Instagram, some of which I ended up deleting because it was just too much. And I ended up buying some yarn. I have to grab one of the others. I ended up buying some yarn for the doodler, and I was like, at the yarn store, yes, this works so well together. And then once I got it home, I'm going, no, what was I thinking? Let me grab one of the others, because it is, where did I put it? Sorry for my side in your face. So all of the yarns that I bought were, bought this one, had this one, bought this one, had this one. Yeah, okay. And I bought this one, but I started something else with it, so I have another whip, that's right. So I bought yarn for the doodler a couple of knit nights ago, and I bought this. This was kind of my, I've been coveting this since my yarn store, West 7th Wool, started carrying hedgehog fibers. I've wanted this particular colorway, and it is Oracle in their sock base, and it's like a grayish white, or it's not really white, but like undyed, and then it's got shots of green and purple, or lime and fuchsia, if you will. Yeah, so it's just got these, it's beautiful. I love it. Then I paired with it a gray, which is Sensible. Not this gray. At the yarn store, I ended up putting back that gray because I knew I had quite a bit of sock weight gray in my stash. This is actually a Swoon Fibers yarn, and it is a 65 merino, 20% bamboo, 15% silk blend. So it's amazing. And this is 80-10. It's hedgehog fiber sock, so it's 80 superwash and 10 merino. 10 nylon, you know what I meant. I also got this one, which was one of the ones when I got home, I go, what was I thinking in my brain to pair this with that? Because it does have a pinky purple in there, but it is definitely more purple than pink. So, and then I also paired this one with it, because there are shots of yellowy green. Like, I'll show you the yellow. There. Just some yellow, and I thought with all the blacks and grays. And then once I got it home, I was going, no. But I did really love this. I am glad I kicked it up. I think fingerless mitts would be really cool. I know that Julie from Diary of a Yarn Snob, love her. Just watched her recent episode. She just cracks me up. I love how real she is, and like, yes, why do we have to be so politically correct nowadays? Why, Jules? Who cares? Who cares? If your feelings are hurt, I mean, it's not to say that I don't care, but guys, really, some people out there just get way too butthurt about things. But I love this colorway. Thinking fingerless mitts for the fall will be beautiful. And it was dyed a lot like Gabby's. I have pulled so much yarn out. Gabby's Because Pumpkin Spice. It was gray on one end and then like a orangey yellow on one end. So I'm sure that this will cake up similar to this, which is fine by me. I love this so much. So that was a no for the shawl. This was a no for the shawl, but this is going to come up in a minute. So then when I got home, I still knew that this was a yes. So I started stash diving, and I recently showed you guys this, which is the, again, hedgehog fiber sock in their potluck colorway. So it's just got all these different colors in it, pinks and purples and oranges. I really do like it. And then to pull it together, this, which I was originally intending to use in my breathing space pullover, but I'm thinking it's just going to pull those two colors together so nicely that it's got to be in this shawl, maybe. And as soon as I decided on these colors, I had zero desire to knit it because I wanted to see what everyone else was doing before I decided my color order. I didn't want to end up with something I hated, but it is there. I have it in a project bag with knitting needles, and the pattern is printed and it's in here. So yeah, I'm one of those insane people that is, again, talking about projects that I'm not knitting on and just stuffing into project bags. Stuffing yarn into project bags. But I told y'all the pink yarn would come into play again. We're going back to whips for a brief moment. If you follow me on Instagram, this is something that you've seen quite a bit because I'm obsessed with it right now. So it is the Little Honey pattern by, I can't tell you who it's by, and I don't have my computer handy to pull it up. But it's the Little Honey pattern. I have a project page about it, so if you're really curious, you could go and see and click on it and have all the information readily available to you. I am knitting this for Prudence, my almost 6-year-old. Her birthday is in a month. So did I say today was the 17th? Yes, her birthday is in a month. It's November 17th. I love this. I cast it on Saturday, but then I was feeling really horrible on Saturday. And I was laying in bed trying like heck to cast this on, and then I didn't. It says to cast it on using DPNs, which I originally did, and then I thought I read that the cast on was wrong, so I ripped it out. I had all the ribbing done on DPNs. I ripped it out and recast it on. Then I got it down to the second pink row on the yoke increase. Decided on DPNs it was looking way too ratchet I was having some horrible ladders, and I was not enjoying that at all. So I, again, completely ripped it out. I knew I had 16-inch circulars, cast it on using 16-inch circulars, and I zoomed right along. That was finally yesterday morning, I recast it on. So this was all from Sunday, basically. I separated for the sleeves this morning and knit just a couple of rows. I mean, this is going to fly off my needles. And all the pattern pages, project notes to this particular pattern say the same thing, that it's just a very quick knit, that everyone really enjoys it. My husband asked me if I intended to knit the pockets, because down below there's 2 pockets. I do. I'm actually going to try to knit this tunic length. Both of these yarns I got at my local yarn store. So again, Hedgehog Piper sock, and this is the Manos del Uruguay. If I'm butchering that, forgive me. Allegria in the colorway Tinfoil. So, I mean, I am flying on this. This is all I want to work on. It's making me so happy. The only thing I don't like, I was working on this section. I did, 3 here, and then it says to knit a size 5 needle. I sized down to 4 because I did not like the gauge I was getting with a 5. It was way too gappy for me, even though I say I'm a tight knitter. I don't know. Maybe other people are way looser than me. But what did I want to say? I had to switch to a 24-inch. I guess I didn't. I could have cramped it on a 16, but it was just like all runched up, and I didn't want that anymore. So I did switch to my only interchangeables I have, which are carbons, which you guys know were not my favorite. I've had several of their fixed circulars break on me, and I find that Chow Goos and Haya Sharps and Addies are by far my preferred needle. Mostly the Haya Sharps. So I think that I'm going to try to maybe get their interchangeables and see how I feel about them. But I really like fixed circulars because I don't like having to deal with it untwisting or finding the right cord or any of that. I would rather just buy several sets of the sizes I need in all of the variations, if that makes sense. So I love that so much. I'm going to cast on another for Trella. I am in love with this for Trella. As soon as I got it in a swap, I knew it was going to be something for her. I was thinking socks originally, but then I was thinking a sock hat, and then I was thinking it's just so gorgeous. It's kind of blown out right now. It's much more saturated than that. It's got greens and purples and blues and teal. It's just gorgeous. Let me see. That's probably the best representation of this. Yeah, it's like Poseidon. I mean, she's obsessed with mythology too, so it's a very ocean colorway. And again, this was going to be earmarked for my breathing space, but I will knit that and it will still be in the yarns that we talked about. But I'm thinking about getting more of this, or maybe looking at my yarn store to see if we've got some grays that will go with this. But I do like those together. I would need another skein of this, I think, to knit the little honey in a trellis size, my 10-year-old. I love it. I love that pattern, guys. I could probably knit 20 of those and not get tired of it. The stripes, it's just easy, and there's minimal information on the pattern, which is, I think I really like, because I'm not overwhelmed or confused by instructions. It's just like, okay, do this, execute this. And it's a paid for pattern, but I think it's well worth it. And it's got cute little pockets. I mean, come on. So that's all I'll say about that. I did get some yarn in the mail. I got a Cat's Kettle recently started testing out, auditioning, I think is her word, a new new base of yarn, which is her DK weight link base, link DK chain ply, which is something I've been wanting to try. I actually have chain plied yarn, so ignore me there. I was looking at a sweater that I need a frog that's chain plied yarn. But this is her Earl Grey colorway, and she recently started having these. So glad I got one. And Tim, if you remember, maybe I didn't tell y'all this, I was knitting the Fleecency hat for him in a kind of green-red colorway, and he decided, greeny-brown, he decided he didn't like it. He said green is not really his color. He does love khaki and brown and just, you know, what man doesn't? So I thought this would be a perfect colorway to cast on him a hat. And I'm thinking maybe just a super plain, the Fleecency killed my hands. I didn't even get halfway through it. Just a plain like seed stitch hat or something. I don't know, help me out. It's a DK weight again, a men's hat. Basic, but maybe kind of patterned. He would wear a patterned hat. He likes brimmed hats, if that helps. There you go. And it is, how many yards? 273 yards, plenty for a hat. Another item that I got in the mail from Cat's Kettle, if you have not received your Halloween Club subscription, skip ahead, turn it off, whatever you need to do. If you don't care about spoilers, then I'm going to show the last installment of her club colorway. So I'm going to go through actually and talk about the other two first. Take another sip. Of my delicious coffee that's now almost cold. So this was the first month, which is the Sanderson Sisters colorway. And it's like shots of all of the sisters. And she had this knit up too. Sanderson Sisters, and this little skein is called Winifred. And it's got little green in it. So cute. And then her second month, which was very cool in my opinion, is the Making Christmas colorway. And this is what I plan to knit my Tulsi socks in. I'm going to rip them out of the Fawn and the Fox colorway, the Fawn knits, and knit them in this. Won't that be cool? I love that shot of rust. And this mini is called Pumpkin King. And all of these are on her matte sock base. And this month's yarn, I was like, oh, I love it. And I'm thinking of maybe switching out some of my building blocks yarns for one of these maybe. This is Ghoul Party. That's way blown out. So it's a very electric green. And it's got shots of purple and orange and like a grayish black. I don't want to say it's black because it's more like a steel gray color in this radioactive jelly jam. I freaking love that. And I thought this might even, if I use the big one in my building blocks, this would be heels and toes for my nomadic yarns, wouldn't it? Yeah, so that's cool. It's cool that it goes with others. And I think she does not dye her club colorways again, like the big skeins, but if I'm not mistaken, she is going to dye like the mini skeins that are the complementary colors, I think. Look how cute that looks. Oh, I love it. I'm gonna have to take a picture of all these guys together. So that was my Cat's Kettle yarn. I also got quite a big swap. And I don't want to show everything because I don't want people to assume this is what to expect from a swap. This is what they have to send from a swap. A lot of people do go overboard, but it's perfectly fine just to send a few minis and a card and some tea. I mean, it's not necessary to send the whole kitchen sink. It's very much appreciated and I am very touched, but again, I'm not going to show you every little thing that came. And I just want to say to my friend Celia, I appreciate the mind-blowing package that you sent. So I'm going to go through just a few of my really, really favorite things that I treasured. She hand drew this card, and there's her name, Celia. Like, I can't even get over that. Look at the basket of knitting, the knitting hanging. I nearly cried. And just a quick, I guess I can show you on this. She sent a pencil and a notebook, but the pencil is one of those seeds that once you get done, you can plant it. How cool is that? I've always wanted one. And I wanted to show you her handwriting because if you've ever gotten a package from me, I'm sorry. My handwriting looks nothing like this. I really love that handwriting. We agreed, so the swap was to send each other some yarns like that I could get here, send her some yarns and needles and stuff that she could only get there because she lives in Denmark. And so she wanted, I asked her to send me Regia, Arnie, and Carlos, and she sent me, I didn't ask her for a specific colorway, I just said Arnie and Carlos, and she sent me the exact colorway I would have bought had I been in the shop to pick it out for myself. I've seen several people knit these socks, and I was really happy to get this colorway. I think these are gonna make really, really cute socks, and I cannot wait to knit them up. So, thank you so much. We agreed to send each other some hand-dyed yarn. I can't remember what I ended up sending her. She sent me this, which is my first Baronvola, and I literally gasped when I pulled this out. You can't even imagine. And Atrella really, really likes it too. And I'm thinking maybe to knit her mittens. I don't know, 437 yards. I wish I had 2 skeins of either of these because how amazing would that be in the little honey? Oh my gosh. But for her, the yardage for Atrella, maybe I could even... Watch her! Do not bark. Do y'all see that he scared the life out of me? There's Lucy. So I'm going to stop this so she's not going ballistic, and I'll show you the rest in just a sec. Sorry about that. So I was talking about these yarns being the little honey, but I still think I just like the simplicity of, one variegated against a tonal. She sent me minis, like you do, and she apologized for them being in mini form because so many people have changed to rolling theirs into balls now. And while I do enjoy the convenience of that, I find that they don't keep as neat, and I have a lot come unraveled. No matter how well I try to roll them, they still come unraveled. And so I actually prefer them to be in mini skein form versus rolled into balls. So I don't mind at all. Another thing that she sent was this project bag that she said she found the fabric for and wanted to make me a project bag. And I really, really love it. And she sent another skein of yarn that's over there that matches this very, very well. And then another bag she sent me was this one. She said it reminded her of indie-dyed yarn, and it's got stars on the inside. And I put my sock blank in here. I was going to start this when we went camping. I took 1,000 projects so I wouldn't get bored. I took my amazing sock blank from Hey Holly Ho Hum, and I think she's recently started restocking these. This is the Smogs layer, and I'm eager to knit my sock blank. She sent me some zings because I'd been wanting to try them, and she made a note that the gold ones, which are the size 1 or 2.25, are called amber. So that worked well. And I put those in here, like I said, so I could start that project. It's just ready to go, like so many others. And the last thing I wanted to show y'all that just made me so excessively happy, she said that her friend that's a knitter doesn't watch podcasts, but when she heard about this swap, she wanted to send me these, which are just these like little balls of cotton. How adorable. I could see just like having these and never using them, but I like maybe on a garland or something. But then I can also see like maybe making a drink cozy, a Fair Isle drink cozy or something. Thank you so much, Celia. I mean, like that package totally, like I said, blew my mind. Bo's gonna start drinking now. I'm gonna pause it right here and be right back. The last thing I wanted to mention that I got in the mail was from Yarngasm podcast. I entered a giveaway, and what's funny about this is I actually don't even own the game that she gave away a prize. It's the Knitters Against Swatches, which is the Cards Against Humanity, like game edition. You can buy like little edition packs, and Knitters Against Swatches is one of their edition packs. I actually have a game very, very, very similar to this called Personality Incorrect. It's a little bit more raunchy, if you will, than the Cards Against Humanity game, I believe. But I'm definitely going to have to pick up my own game so I can take it to Knit Night as originally intended. So that was a bit of a letdown. I was so excited to win. So many people let me know that I had won before I'd actually watched her podcast. So when I heard my name, I was still like, oh, cool, and messaged her and like you do. So we went camping, like I said. We went to a state park that's local to us, and the girls had a really enjoyable time. We actually got to sit down yesterday, the girls and I, and record a little segment of theirs on what they've been working on. So I'll tack that in at the end if you're interested to see what my girls have been crafting on and to hear their experience on going camping. So another kind of letdown besides Lucy keeping me up all night was while we were out on part of at the beginning I will have linked a little video of us at this particular waterway. Lucy saw another dog and kind of ran up on them and was aggressive in a way that she didn't need to be. Sometimes she's playing and she gets more aggressive, and dogs don't realize that she's playing, so they'll be aggressive back and then she'll feed off of that, which I think that's more of what it was, but the owner of the other dog was kind of freaked out, and it was mostly my fault because I did not have Lucy on a leash like I should have. So that was camping. Other than that, it was other than losing sleep the first night and Lucy going ballistic on one little dog, those were the only negatives. The rest was so enjoyable, so relaxing. I love to go camping. I love to be outside. I posted a ton of pictures on my Instagram page, as I've mentioned, so you can go check them out there if you're at all interested. And yeah, we definitely want to do a lot more camping. We haven't been in about most of summer, mostly because I was working weekends, and that's changed a little bit. I'm still kind of working weekends, just not as much. I had two part-time jobs I was working, and now I just have one. I ended up quitting the restaurant job for a couple of reasons that I really won't go into other than to say I don't work there anymore. So a couple of weeks ago, while we were driving home late one night from town, again, if you don't know, we live really rural, and by rural, I mean 30 minutes from the nearest Walmart and over an hour to Target. So we were driving home, and we were about 2, maybe 1.5 miles from home when my husband, I'm always knitting in the car. It helps me stay awake, like as a passenger. It helps me stay awake, and just I enjoy having something to do with my hands. So he was driving along, and suddenly he just swerved, and I look up as we're passing by, and I kind of see something in the road, but it was dark outside. And he said, that was a ram in the middle of the road. And it took me a few seconds, and I was to process what he was saying, and I'm thinking, he's crazy. Ram? Maybe it was a deer, but we live out in the middle of nowhere, so there's no traffic. He had swerved into oncoming lane to miss the deer. And so he did a quick U-turn to get a better look. And it was a ram, about 300-pound ram with huge, huge horns. And he went back into like the grassy area, so my husband kind of drove after him because, of course, I'm trying to get a picture, you know, for the story. You gotta see what I'm talking about. And about the time I said maybe we should call somebody about this ram being out there. Oh wait. So the whole time my husband's kind of like creeping up on this ram. He is like turning his head, the ram, like, dude, are you trying to mess with me right now? I will charge you, Mr. Man. So here comes a car. As soon as I said maybe we should call somebody about this ram, here comes a car down their long driveway to obviously get their ram that somebody had called about out of the middle of the road. So that was kind of anxiety-inducing to nearly have a totaled truck from hitting a huge ram, because that's what would have happened. We probably would have been injured in some way or another. And thankfully that didn't happen because my husband is on the ball and paying attention to things. I think that's all. We've been really, really busy lately. The school's got a lot going on for the fall, so I've been up there a lot volunteering. So I feel like I haven't had a lot of knit time. Last week the girls both had garden club on different days, and I volunteer and help out with garden club, and I was up there during the day for PTO stuff for 2 days too, so it ate up a lot of my week. I was really surprised. Yeah, just that's all. One of our chickens disappeared. I meant to mention that a couple of weeks ago. Houdini, which is the chicken that will escape the coop no matter how well you plug the holes. Houdini has finally met her demise by either a hawk or a coyote. I'm not really sure. So now we're down to 4 bantam chickens and then 2 Rhode Island Reds, which is kind of sad, but that's all it is. We're making a heck of progress on the remodel house, which I should really do some videos of that. I keep saying that. Maybe I'll do it next week, because this week I'm doing camping videos and I don't want this to be so long, like it probably is already. I'm at the end. I'm rambling. I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed it this week, and I hope that you got some progress done on whatever project you're working on. Stop by in the group and join the giveaway or the knit along or all the things, chatter if you will. If not, that's cool too. I don't do too much show notes. I'd rather be knitting. So if there's something that you want more information on, feel free to message me either on Ravelry or on Instagram, though you will probably get the quickest response on Instagram. And again, on all the places, I am _Yarn Junkie Instagram. Yarn Junkie with the number 6 on Ravelry. There is a Yarn Junkie podcast group, and that's where I'm most active. So thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Yarn Junkie podcast. I'm Trella. As you all know, this is Prudence. And that's the main host, Wallace. Yeah, I will be going first today. I've been working on a few outfits for my dolls because I get tired of the same outfits over and over because they're just pajamas. So, first I made this
sleeping mask.
I made this outfit for my this little green belt is a leftover. So it's got like a little shirt.
From the ankle.
These sleeves actually slide off. Oops. And everything slides off really easy. And to put the sleeves on, you have to take off your hands.
And the sleeves take off her hands.
It's kind of creepy and awesome.
Yeah.
And then last night, I just made this skirt. And a few days ago, I made this shirt. So now she's got an outfit. And I just tied some ribbon around it. Give it a little more fun. I really love the skirt. It's got hearts on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do that. I sewed it.
I love it. It's awesome.
Also, from another sock.
You should love my sister.
For this other doll over here. I made that shirt.
I love this one. Where's the sweater that you did? Did you ever show that sweater?
I showed both the sweaters I made.
Love
I
that.
need
It's
to
so
put her shoes on.
cute. It's a little
I wish
sleeves,
Spider-Man.
little tube top for Barbie.
Actually, I'm not sure what kind of Barbie she is for doll. And now for the little sock boot thingies. They're adorable. That one's got holes in it.
It's a peep toe sock.
Yeah.
Or a cast.
That works too. And on a previous podcast, I showed you that giant room I made for these two special dolls right here. And I want to redo a few things, so I think I'm going to take that down, rip out a few things, and completely redo it. Over to you.
Okay, well, I will be showing 2 things today. My name is Prudence Ann Wallace, and I'm 5.5, and I'm in kindergarten. This is a ring from somebody's birthday, juniors. He's a kid in my class, and I got chocolate cupcakes. They were Spider-Man. Now, moving on to the other things.
Tell me what you're working on this week at school. What's your letter of the week?
P, and my name is Prudence. We start with the P. Yay!
And so for P week, what did your teacher want you to do?
Make a puppet out of a plate.
Let's see your puppet.
It's a princess. Yay!
Show her necklace. Talk about it.
Well, we did the crown from beads, tape, and a little felt foam thing. And my sister found these little flower and, the butterflies. And my mom made the lips, and I did my mom made the lips, and I glued on the eyes. My mom just put the hot glue there. And I did the little cheeks and nose. And I also stuck the beads onto the necklace with her.
And you made a pattern,
Yep.
which also starts with
P.
And she has braids in her hair of yarn.
Red yarn.
And a P for princess.
And Prudence and pattern.
And perfect.
Uh-huh. Oh, and we made her hair from a red velvet.
Red velvet yarn.
Yep.
It's just red yarn. I think it was Patton's worsted.
Yep.
Which I don't feel like Patton's worsted is really very worsted. I feel like it's more like a
Itchy.
DK weight.
Hey,
Maybe it's classic wool. Maybe
Mom,
it's not worsted.
your nails match the bright one. Sort of.
A little.
Yeah.
Okay.
As once again, the Spider-Man ring from the cupcake. Everyone took theirs out and brought it home.
Doing magic. It's floating.
It was to stick onto a needle or a toothpick.
Magicians never reveal their secrets.
Is that all that you'll have to show?
Okay,
Yes.
bye guys.
Do y'all want to talk about going camping? What we did going camping?
Not bye guys.
I'm first.
Oh, let's show those bracelets. I can go get those so you can start
Oh
talking about camping.
yeah, they have a thank you. The bracelets are right over here in my box.
Bracelets.
So a friend, a pen pal, Melissa of Nitty by Nature, she sent the girls some cute bracelets.
Oh,
and they
yeah.
wanted to show them off
Oh.
and say,
Thank you so much, Melissa.
we open them now and show them what they do?
Yes.
We can open them now. Finally.
I made them wait until we podcast because I'm a horrible mother.
It's double packaged.
Crazy.
Better not be
They
triple
glow in
packaged
the
under
dark.
It's pretty cool, huh?
I'm gonna wear this. I'm gonna wear them to Angelia's spook party. She invited me.
That's another friend of hers. Her birthday party's coming up.
Yeah.
Somebody else has a birthday coming up.
Who?
You
Right.
in a month.
Right.
I'm actually working on your birthday sweater.
And she's gonna finish it on my birthday.
Look, they have little ghosts on them.
Yeah.
If you can see that, let me turn it off and see. See. Yeah, now you can see. Look at the little ghosts. Aren't they adorable?
Look at all the little scaredy ghosts. I love the wearing these.
And say thank you again.
Thank you, Melissa.
Oh, it's so nice of you.
Yeah.
Did y'all have fun camping? Here, get over here a little bit because you're like completely off the camera.
Yep.
Did y'all have fun camping?
Yes, it was so
I'm
cold.
gonna go first.
It was
Okay.
so cold.
I'm gonna go first.
Okay, you go first. Talk about camping.
Well, on the first day, we saw a little walk thing that was covered in water. The water was overflowing, which is kind of cool, but it wasn't overflowing like overflowing.
It was a spillway.
Yeah,
I was about to tell you.
it was a spill walkway, and we checked it out, and then we drove past it to our campsite, and and then we changed into our, stuff, our camping stuff, and then we set up the tent, then did our stuff of getting into our camping stuff, and then me and my sister, after a while, after Mom and Dad set up their tent, then they set it up the hammock, and when we saw it, we wanted to relax in it with Dad.
And we set up our tent all by ourselves.
So was
I
relaxing
did.
in the hammock your favorite thing, Prudence?
Yes.
I enjoyed the second dinner.
The second dinner, what did we have?
We had
shrimp. We had grilled shrimp
Yeah,
and boiled
grilled
shrimp
shrimp,
and some vegetables and some rolls and corn on the cob at camping.
And
It was fun.
mashed potatoes.
We didn't have mashed potatoes.
I mean potatoes.
That was the first night. We had shrimp, or the first night we had foil packets of potatoes, onions, and mushrooms, and then a foil packet with chicken.
Mushrooms are delicious.
Yummy.
We like mushrooms. So, Atrella, what was your favorite thing about camping?
I just said the second dinner.
The second dinner?
Ooh, and I really, really liked riding my bike around because it was like
A village?
it was like a park.
Yeah, we stayed at a state park.
Yeah.
And I exercised with her. Right in the morning, we were full of energy and we exercised a lot.
Rode their bikes a lot.
Yeah.
And we played camp games.
We told ghost stories.
Yes.
I told a ghost story about my dead friend.
I told a ghost story about my nightmares.
We had s'mores.
Yummy. Ooh, maybe we could eat a s'more after the podcast.
Yeah. Yummy.
And it's almost dinner time.
We have dried s'mores.
But I just wanted to be able to sit down with you guys and let Atrella show some of the things that she's working on, and be sure the girls got to show off their mail that they got this week and to say their thank yous. So thanks for watching this special segment with Atrella and Prudence, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Prudence.
Bye.
Bye. I'm Prudence.
It's okay. Watch. She's bitching.